First video.
We are talking about
Tuu Yaa Main. Yeah, or Main Ya Tu.
the film by Bijoy Nambiar, which has a crocodile in it. But we think it's about. What do we think it's about?
We think it's about class. It's not.
It's not about crocodiles.
It's not about
It's about
crocodiles.
class. Let's introduce the film to people who might not know. Like nobody is sponsoring us for this. Just saying.
Sponsors.
Yeah, so it's a 2026 Hindi survival thriller film directed by the Malayali director Bijoy Nambiar. And yeah, and it stars Shanaya Kapoor in it. I think this is her debut film, aka Miss Vanity. That's the influencer handle. And there's also the White Tiger famous guy Adarsh Gaurav as Maruti, also known as Ala Flopara. Ala Flopara, yes. So yeah, the film is about influencers.
This film is adapted from the Thai film The Pool, in which two people are trapped in a drain pool with a crocodile setup. And this is basically copy paste, but in Indian circumstances with Indian caste class angles and gendered versions. And very specifically, it's located in Mumbai, the city of dreams, right? So here it's not boy meets girl, it's creator meets creator.
Tuu Yaa Main.
Yeah, and the city, the pool, that's where they start the real work.
And it's very interesting how it's not just Bombay, it's also the Konkan coast
Konkan
line.
coast, yeah.
Because if people watch also there will be spoilers here. Sorry.
Spoilers!
So, like, the biggest thing that I saw was that it stages Bombay, but then the entire film is not taking place in Bombay. It's taking place in between this nondescript town, which is in between Bombay and Goa. Because these people are going towards Goa and they get stuck in something Mumbaikars and Maharashtra people know rains and flood. So, yeah, that happens. The dialogue that brought us together was love is a collab. So we are collaborating
On this first one, Rambutan and Dr. Pop Culture Analysis. My thing was, see, I loved the way how they showed the Konkan coastal area, and especially my fascination with Konkan and also Maharashtra Marathi and that belt is how you use Hindi. Hindi is an infrastructure that they used to have. You were talking about some Hindi words, right? What was
Yeah,
the
like
Hindi?
that's the Bombaya Hindi. Like, you know, if you, especially with Ala Flopara's character, because he's coming from, if anyone has watched Dance India Dance, you know the term Nala Sopara from those days, because there's a lot of creators in that space in Mumbai, and a lot of the Bombaya language has been introduced in public sphere because of rap culture coming from there, underground rap culture. Bantai and like, Bhidu was made famous by you had reminded me that day, right? Like Munna Bhai.
MBBS.
Right, but with Bantai and all of that is very rap coded, very underground rap. You think Bantai, you think about Emire Bantai and all the other rappers that have come from Dharavi or Nala Sopara, all these places. But yeah, you were also saying that how it was, even if it was very Bombaya, it was accessible to you, right? And Hindi is not your first language.
And it is not. I'm very Malayali in a lot of ways. So for me, just hearing this Marathi and Mumbai specific Hindi coded language was very interesting, because I haven't listened to a lot of rap, especially from Mumbai underground scene. So hearing it was really, really fun. And yeah, talking about the larger premise of the film, I want to ask the creators of the film, like, do you think a woman who is from a upper caste, upper class background will fall in love so easily and effortlessly with an underground rapper from
Nala Sopara.
Nopara?
I think for me, it was also like, there was a very self-aware portion in the film where both of us are using each other. Let's not pretend that this is love without conditions. Like, तू इसलिए यूज करना चाहती थी because you needed the poverty experience to have some profound thoughts, right? मतलब वो बोलता है ना कि तू मेरा ही लाइफ मेरे को रोमांटिक करके बेच रही है, you know. He's using her because he has to, because she's the millionaire there, right? And he needs that kind of social proximity to her in order to social climbing, or like climbing the ladder of fame or something like that. But yeah, I think it was I don't know, I wanted to ask, the creators, was it inspired by real influencers? Because it felt like, I don't know, maybe because of Gully Boy or something, the character Adarsh was playing. By the way, I really like Adarsh Gaurav. He was playing, it felt very familiar, even though it was very him and he did a great job. Felt very familiar, and I felt like it was giving a lot of Gully Boy memories to me, where there is a character, Kalki Koekla comes in Gully Boy, right? And she's this foreigner city gal. And Alia Bhatt's character is very angry with how close they are getting. This feels like, what if they actually start dating each other, these two people from the two different worlds? But I want to pause here, and as we just said that you are a Malayali, I really want to ask you, how did you feel about a very particular cameo in the film?
Oh, yeah. So, as we shuffle between love as a collab idea and why the fuck was Parvati there, right? Parvati Rotu. I have so many questions. Girl, I like you. I like you a lot. You're my crush and all. Just saying. What I'm trying to say is, why is she there? And why is she mute? And why is this other person able to understand sign
Yeah,
language?
like when did Shanaya's character learn sign language?
And Parvati is assuming the mute person here is assuming that she will understand all of the sign language, and Shanaya does. Shanaya gets all the complicated sentences and everything, and Shanaya and Parvati is strangely mute. Is this some kind of weird disability representation that
Yeah.
they're trying to do? And why Parvati? And matlab, what is up with the casting of this?
Yeah.
I simply didn't understand.
It felt like friendship has turned into casting choice. There must be some, but for me, I know your thoughts on this. That disability, so it's not only disability, but disabled profound character. She's the one who comes into the picture in the film, where she just looks at Shanaya's character and knows what she's going through. And she also gives her a literal lifeline, which is the whistle that becomes a thing in the movie, where Shanaya's character has to use that whistle to call for help when they're stuck in the pool eventually. But so the whistle comes from Parvati. But the whole point of having this disabled character who is also there to tell the able-bodied character what they're missing out in life, or like it's okay, you can be resilient, you can be happy. It's like using a disabled person to sort of give key. They despite their struggles, they know how to enjoy life. So what do you have to struggle about? Like that kind of weird use of disability as a trope for profound insight, right? Almost as a metaphor. Ki she's mute, she's deaf, but she can definitely see more to life than, because Avani is also, when she finds Avani, the character, Avani is in crossroads with the most amazing issue that every Indian woman on Indian cinema goes through is, should I have this child or not? Anyway, I said a lot, but then what did you think about Parvati's character in general? She was there, chalo, accepted, like accept karne ka wohi kya hai, of course, but what do you think the character did according to you in the film? For me, it was like she was just there to give Shanaya a direction in life, right? And she's a scuba diver in middle of Konkan. Also using Parvati's general image as this cool woman who defies stereotypes and all of that. She's the one with the septum earring, and is not as thin as an Avani. And she's the one who scuba dives and shit. Yeah. Anyway, bolo.
I think seeing Parvati as a hippie in a lot of ways.
Hippie, yes,
with
yeah.
long hair and smoking in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah, smoking. That's the thing. Yeah, yes.
Smoking in the middle of the night. So what happens is, like Prerna said, she's drawing contrast between people who have it all versus who have a disability and still trying to live a life.
Yeah.
Right? Parvati, I don't know, because the whistle also does not come to help really at the end of the day. So it feels, with all respect to Parvati, it feels like Bijoy is a good friend, and Bijoy is like, we have a role, but we made it for you. Why don't you come for 10 minutes and go?
Yeah.
Because I love Parvati's talent. I think she's very talented. But sometimes it feels like, why? Why is there a casting choice? What is the casting director up to? And what is the premise of the role? Does the role push the narrative forward, plot forward in any way? I don't think it does in a so like Prerna said, I think it's a contrasting tool. She's used as a contrasting tool of that independent woman who is hippie, who is running with the wolves, one with the nature, smoking, disabled. But that is the contrast. Agar if she's disabled and doing this, and you're stuck with a man, you can't look at your life. So the problem is using disabled women as a contrast here, and there are hundreds of ways you can show that the woman is having a terrible time with the man, and she's not in like an effective romantic relationship. So I want to come around to the theme of love as a collab, because I don't know how to feel about this influencer Instagram class aspirational thing in which this upper caste woman decides to partake in the underground rapper who lives in pretty comparatively pretty bad condition compared to this rich person who has a bigger swimming pool than his whole home. And classic Bollywood tropes, right? You're showing this rich woman or rich person coming to this old poor person's house and becoming one with them. I love kids, I love the noise, I love pav bhaji, let's go. And one scene, this guy takes her to a pav bhaji place in the middle of the night and she's like, oh my god, I love this. This is the best food ever. This is even like it gave off that this is even better than my $10,000 gourmet I have in France. Right? It's giving that. Because see, there are so many themes that you're dealing with. You're dealing with class, you're dealing with rap culture, you're dealing with influences. I really want I really want filmmakers to consult sociologists, people who can help you understand and make nuanced decisions in this. And I know you're self-advertising, but really, please take this criticism as a spirit in a good way, because I simply don't know what are you trying to do, because nothing is pushing the plot forward. When you are showing love as collab, I simply do not understand what is the reason this girl or this guy falls in love with each other. The class difference is different. And if this was a Korean movie, this could have turned to a parasite film in which both of them try to kill each other because of the class difference. But in India, we aspire to close this class difference by what you call marriage or love. And that's why we have this common term: you marry a rich girl, you marry a rich guy. Right? That is the status issue we have, and fundamentally, you have a class and caste issue that is termed to be aspirational in the Indian context, and that is the thing that bugged me. Throughout the film, I was thinking, how did they fall in love? And I'm not an expert in love and love studies. Maybe there are people who can fall in love so effortlessly without political demarcations, but I simply do not understand.
So one of the ways in which I feel like, I know you're thinking about like how did they fall in love, but I actually don't think they ever did. They were towards in the entire narrative, they are constantly questioning whether what is this love. And I think the entire Tuu Yaa Main thing is also about like when it comes to survival and when you're like fighting a predatory like creature, do you fend for yourself or do you fend for the other, right? Like do you have the concern for the other? And they are also having a huge disagreement in between themselves while we are in this pool situation, is where they have had unprotected sex and now they are, one of them like Chanaya is pregnant, Chanaya's character is pregnant, Avni is pregnant, and this guy is, obviously these people are very young and he has a clear cut idea that he does not want the child. He is not ready. He's ready for a relationship with Avni, but this is not the time to have a kid. And I was very angry at how he never takes responsibility for impregnating her, which is there. It's like, "Tu ho gayi pregnant." Like, where are you? Like, your contribution, the only contribution you'll ever do to this child's life at this point is to have the impregnation happen, right? Like, but with her, it was also like she's going through confusion, and I think that is a very realistic thing to show that maybe she's not, because she's gone through trauma, parental trauma, that character, like she's lost both her parents. She sort of makes this key, oh, what if this child is my gateway to some real human happiness, because she does not really have friends who seem real. They come and go when they need a selfie with her, and her sister is her manager person. So really very transactional relationships, right? This feels like, oh, what if this has happened? But then the character of Ala Flopara, he says ki you shouldn't have a child for such selfish reasons. You should have a child for having a child, and I'll be there for that. I think, but all these conversations are happening without a declaration of love throughout the film. There is a point where they are constantly fighting each other, and it feels like at this point they hate each other's guts. So I feel the love thing is a little complicated, but also for me it was also very interesting, is because they are influencers, and the film sort of ends in this way that, so it starts with them collaborating and somebody asking, how did you come to this point? And that's how the film sort of begins, ki, oh, this is how they came to this point. And towards the end, that scene again comes in, it loops in towards the end, and they are sort of saying ki, love is all real, she says. And then he says love is a collab. But I found the all real claim very interesting, because is it now for the creators that they are, that is it for show? Is it for Instagram? Right? Is it for what was it? Pixta or something? Or is it actually real? Do they really love each other? And I think that's always a question mark. Towards the end also, you're like, okay, but because they have just survived a fucking crocodile coming for their lives, maybe does it take a crocodile for you to fall in love across class? That is...
Love that.
That's
crocodile as a class equalizer.
class equalizer.
Like, crocodile चाहिए अगर आप दोनों दो, if you are from two different classes in the spectrum. Get crocodile into the relationship. We say no, the elephant in the room, crocodile in the relationship.
The crocodile in the pool.
Working with that, I think in the era of Instagram and Reels and putting yourself out there through visual culture, and then they're asking, is it a collab, is it love? Throughout the film, I didn't feel any love, to be honest. Well, I wanted to slap that guy many times, just the character, not the real person. And I don't know about the actor, the actress, the actress here. I couldn't figure out any facial expressions. I couldn't know. I was trying to figure out if it is happiness, sadness, or is this horniness, or
is it Botox?
Botox. Are they genuinely in love with each other? I had no idea. I was just like, oh, the truth is, I had no idea that my dear partner was going to take me to a film with crocodile as the third character. I just went in and suddenly we have crocodiles. We have two crocodiles, right? That's the thing. I think crocodile as a great class equalizer is as such. I'm not joking about it. I think it's a very aspirational thing. It can be a very aspirational thing, right? Does it break class barriers? No. But does it break bones and eat flesh? So that's the thing.
So there's a very interesting scene, and Akshay has a lot of thoughts about it. And we had not a disagreement. We had a passionate discussion about it, and which we want to share with you. So there's a particular scene where Adarsh Gaurav's character is kind of scared at this point that Shanaya's character Avni is so powerful that what if their family, because they are sort of running away from Bombay at this point, so they are abhi runaways, and he's like, what if your family sends a supari for my family and kills my family off? I have only like my mom and my sister left, and she sort of says, oh bro, the stakes are not that high. Stakes are not, it's not, and she says this, it's not like this is a intercaste or a love jihad relationship. Now, the conversation that me and Akshay had is that intercaste describes a relationship which exists in our constitution as well, as a sociological concept as well, and it's a recognized form of relationship, right? So if you want to say different kinds of relationships where there are, controversies around such relationships that exist in India. Intercaste is one of them. And then if you want to sort of talk about religion, right, or a community or something, inter-community, so you'll say interfaith, right? And also because interfaith then sort of brings multiple faiths which exist in India, right? But what you were stumped about was that intercaste bola, uske baad you are using love jihad as a synonym for interfaith relationships. And what is happening in here is that, first of all, it is reducing faith to only two faiths, which have histories of a lot of trauma, partition trauma, and a lot of other controversial events that have happened in the country sort of get evoked when you use the term. But you're also sort of saying that together with intercaste, it's sort of making you feel ki now when I want to talk about two people coming from different religions, I can just use the word love jihad, right? Like if you sort of see a person who is in, and also love jihad literally does not talk about any other faith but Islam, and it's specifically, as you pointed out, is also almost like a slur, right? Where you're not only saying that these two people are in love, but this is somebody abducting someone and calling it love, like, and people see it as love, but it's not. That is the history to the term. The minute you bring, so it's not a synonym for interfaith relationships, and it felt, and what I was saying when we were discussing is that why मतलब actually ये dialogue could have been very cool if you had said intercaste and interfaith. You are sort of making a point ki acha, this is a very self-aware rich person from Churchgate in Mumbai, right? Like, oh, she knows about. What were you like? What was the point of? Was it provocative? Was it just like we will get woke points from here, but it was not woke. Like it's not really well informed. And if I was saying कि but आजकल लोग तो बोलते ही हैं, but that's a problem ना. The whole point of films is that films also reinforce, right, certain ideas that are circulating. Films का job भी है कि to show another reality can exist, other points of view can exist. It's when it sort of, as you said, concretizes or says reinforces what's happening. Film is a very aspirational medium in India, especially it's a very impressionable audience ko jata hai, like films in India. Like Indians actually derive a lot of their politics from films, lot of their everyday conversation and culture from films. So fear that you have is, I think, is very substantiated in reality, where people after watching a Kabir Singh and Animal do feel like they will become a Kabir Singh or Animal. Like the craze about Dhurandar's Akshay Khanna character. Nobody cares that he's a Balochi from Liari in Karachi who will never speak in Urdu. But this kind of fantasies that we have, so many people started wearing their hair like Akshay Khanna and like acting. We think these are trends, but what we are also seeing is that how easily people adopt and absorb Indian cinema, right? A lot of people will say though कि हम लोग बहुत overthink कर रहे हैं, but मुझे ये है कि आप underthink कैसे कर लेते हो भाई? मतलब how can one let go of that moment? Because I think for you, the film kind of stopped for a while when the dialogue happened, right?
Jihad, first of all, love jihad as a concept does not exist. It is a propaganda term used by right wings to demonize Muslim community, especially Muslim men. Right? This is a term used by propaganda films like Kerala Story and all of that. When you use the concept as someone who's like this lady is speaking, it arrives it concretizes it, right? So when you're using terms like intercaste relationships, violence, it's this very real intercaste relationship, you have to use words like interfaith, right? Not using words like love jihad. You cannot use that kind of words. What happens is then the audience, let's say young or old, anyone will be impressionable to this kind of things. You 100 people will watch, one people will go and Google, and they'll go to this right-wing propaganda websites which will inculcate the hatred into them, right? Please audit your dialogues, because what you're saying in the first line about intercaste is a real sociological concept, and then love jihad is a propaganda term, and the more you use it in common parlance, the more it is normalized. Now you can say it's already in common parlance, yes, by right-wing media, yes, by right-wing activists, yes, by right-wing politicians, but not by normal people, right? Not by, when I'm talking to my friend, wo. We don't say that, nobody says that. So please, Vijay Nambiar, if you're listening to this, please pull your head out of this narrative, and please hire people who can write good sensible dialogue with sociological lens present. You cannot have these lines in a film, right, in which the character seems to be a liberal woman and the other man's a liberal person. You cannot have this kind of discourse and usage of phrases which demonize communities in the film. You are normalizing it. Please say no to this. Bollywood has already fallen to propaganda anyway, right? And these things are not expected from a filmmaker like you. The film was going in a flow. Suddenly, this lady says this, and like, what? Right?
Yeah. So, flow para down, or flow neo, flow para down.
But the last but not the least, the main characters, two crocodiles, one mama crocodile and one papa crocodile. Shout out to the CGI team. They have done their best. It's really good. It's very effective. Yeah. No sarcasm or anything included. Genuinely good. I respect hard work when I see it. Second,
also, we have to also say that we haven't watched the Thai film.
We haven't watched.
Also, we haven't watched the. Bolo. Sorry. So we haven't watched the original film. A lot of people who might have other ideas about the crocodile in it.
Crocodile is a very interesting animal to choose. Amphibian hai, like water, land, everywhere it can survive.
I asked you in between the film ki ye hota hai kya?
Exactly. And the best thing is, I think that's also have to be a literature student here. It's a metaphor for a class. Class jumping. See, amphibian. The land is lower class. Water is upper class.
Yes, I am, bro.
So, it moves from land and attacks upper class people, take their limbs and pull it back to the land. Right, exactly. So all in all, people are getting killed left, right, center. I don't think crocodile is a man-eater per se, right? And crocodiles have better things to do rather than go through the sewages of Konkan coast and find people in an empty pool and nest there and everything. Yes, their argument is ki we are eating up their land and
the policeman says that, no?
Right. But I'm yet to hear a case of crocodile eating people. More people die in portholes in Mumbai than being attacked by crocodiles. But I get the fantasy aspect. I guess it's a survival thriller, right? Just my last takeaway is I like films like this. I like films which experiment. Hindi film is
credit where it's due, seriously.
Credit where it's due to get inspired from. Inspired in the lack of a better term for copy, but inspired from other, because creativity it is hard to come by in Bollywood. And
they credit it though, the film. They credit. Yeah,
very easy. You watch a film, nice. Drishyam is such a good South Indian film. Why don't we get inspired from it? Inspiration के बारे में क्या सोचे आपका? Very good. Right, no effort in writing, no effort in story. Just everything is laid out to you. Just you need budget and some nepotistic actors. We got a film ready, guys. Like when you're taking a film from Thailand and making it in Indian context, the Indian context is different with class, caste, city, metro, village, rustic life, and everything. So once you don't account for it, you get a film like this, which is set in vacuum. That person can be anyone. That lady can be anyone. That crocodile can be anyone. So the crocodile is the class equalizer here, guys. It will equalize everyone because it doesn't discriminate between caste, class, or religion. It will eat your legs. It will eat your feet, and it will grab you like this and go until you go out.
I do have something to add. Like, I think, of course, the film does not really take up the nuances. There's potential there to do a lot with the creature feature that is there. But for me, I feel there is one thing I really noticed that the filmmakers perhaps were trying to do, or maybe it just hit my eyes, is and I think some reviews do talk about this, is the water as not an equalizer, water as the sign of inequalities. If you remember the rap sequence that Ala Flopara is introduced as Ala Flopara by, he's literally on a water tank because everybody needs water from a water tank. And how is Avni's character, how is Shanaya's character introduced? Through her being in a swimming pool. And there are a lot of like these conversations about in the film where he's constantly saying कि मेरे तू रोमांटिसाइज मत कर मेरे स्लम को, हमको टंकी से पानी पीना पड़ता है जबकि तेरे घर में एक स्विमिंग पूल है. And there is also like this constant reference to how these rich people have these gated pools in a city which has the entire fucking sea out there, right? And he takes her to certain spaces she has never seen. And there's also the understanding of trauma that she has with water because she loses her parents in water, right? So that's there. But I think this whole idea of, and floods, like Maharashtra floods are, I'm sure people who have lived through the Mumbai floods or Mumbai rains, as they're constantly romanticized in many ways, but every year they go through that traumatic incident of rainfall, right? And how this, and the entire second half is fully about them struggling with water and rain. And the crocodile sort of comes through the drainage system, gutter ka Godzilla. That is how he was known, right? Like gutter ka Godzilla. I think that, and so also the people who get killed first
are working class people.
Working class people.
Fuck them.
I think the only institutional character that gets unalived is the policeman, right? Yeah. While trying to help these two, which is okay. But I feel like water is important.
So the themes we discussed today, Mumbai class barriers to water, why was Parvati there, love jihad as a bogey, what did crocodile symbolize, what did water symbolize? All in all, if you have a spare evening, I think you can watch the film.
It's going to come on some streaming service anyway.
But it's fun. Appreciate that people are at least trying experimental films, even though it's...
and very rooted in contemporary creator economies, influencer economies. So people who are influencers, who want followers, like it's also one of the things that I want to finish with is that this whole idea of having a creature and everything. For them, if they were in other circumstances, this will be content, right? But for them, it becomes a matter of life and death.
Reality. This is Rambutan.
And this is Doctor of Pop Culture, signing off.
Bye-bye. Yeah, first video!